Hello, my name is Cody, Lufthansa 145. Welcome back to the Full Flight series. This month's Full Flight, probably against Johnny's best wishes, we are not flying virtual LH. Yes. Those who I talk to on our Discord all the time know that this past month of November, I had been doing business travel back and forth between Montreal and Toronto. So we're down on the ground here replicating one of those flights right now. So we are in the WestJet DH8D400 performing flight WestJet Encore 3539. Online at VATSIM, as you can see, an Air Canada 319 just fired on beside me. And a CAN jet further down, I think he's a Boeing. So, let's tell you a little story. So, on Friday, November 15th, I had a really bad day. And the reason why I had a really bad day, if you can see, is this guy. This big storm system here caused so much havoc for travel between Toronto and Montreal. But what was even better was that in Toronto and in Montreal, no snow was falling on the ground. It was very interesting. So I get to the airport from work. I get there at 3:30. WestJet has a flight at 3:15. That hadn't left yet, so I tried to go board onto that. The flight was full. WestJet does not have a flight at 6:15 or 4:15, which was very annoying to me. I didn't even know that was a thing because they used to. Then they canceled the 5:15 flight. So my flight, which was originally 6:15, which I always like to book a later flight, get to the airport early, and switch to an earlier flight. My 6:15 flight then becomes delayed to 8 p.m. I'm at the airport's 3:30. Now, it's usually not a bad thing for, an aviation nerd to be, at the airport, but unfortunately Montreal has changed their airport recently so that you cannot go to the international side of the terminal anymore and actually look at the bigger airplanes. So I was stuck on the domestic side, which was predominantly Q400s and the odd 737. So 6:15 flight of mine gets delayed to 8 o'clock. I'm like, well, that's unacceptable. Let's try and get onto the 7:15 WestJet flight. Now, WestJet at 7:15 usually runs a Boeing 737. I was like, cool, let's do that. There's no way that's going to be delayed. It gets delayed to 9:45. And then my original 6:15 flight ends up leaving at like 7:15. So I'm like, awesome. I eventually ended up on this flight, which was Encore 3539, which was meant to depart at 8:30. The gate departure was 8:20. We ended up departing at 8:30, but it took us a half hour to get to the runway and take off because there was such a backlog of airplanes waiting to take off. So we were like number 8 in line. It was pretty crazy for runway 24 left. So without further ado, let's replicate this flight. I've got everything set up. What I'm going to do, full flight style, because we want to try and keep the video as close to an hour as possible, and I just talked for probably 4 minutes here, is I'm going to get in, we're going to get everything fired up, push back, and when I will cut out the taxi because that's just unnecessary. So minimize that. Air Canada's there. He hasn't said anything on frequency or on text chat yet. Let's get into the flight deck. Everything is set up, so the flight plan is a 24 left departure, CYUL01, which is basically climb to 520 and then wait for ATC instruction. Our first waypoint is Kelsa, and this is following the real world route that we use at night. So we have Kelsa, Savix, Canor, Takir, and then we go into Toronto. It is what's it called? The Yunker. I'll have to look that up again, but the arrival into Toronto is not programmed, but we will program that in the air. So everything is set. GSX man wants me to close the doors, so we do that. Yes, we do that by going to data services. And actually, while I do that, let's fire on the APU starter. Now, I know the last full flight was another Q400. I apologize for that. I do like to try and vary it, but because this was so recent in my life, I figured that would be a fun one to reproduce. It's not virtual LH, but you know what? Every once in a while, we can do something different, right? Forward packs. Main exit closing. Turn. Gen light on. Fire him in. I don't want the de-icing treatment. We'll kill external power to put us there so I can cancel the GPU. No. And we are gonna go nose left, tail right.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Okay, going forward.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Oh, I gotta wait for that guy to push back now.
Locking gear.
We'll let him go first.
Departure check completed. Bypass
That's
pin
a
inserted.
really big machine.
Release parking brakes.
Yeah. Okay, so belt lights and everything are on. Start select right, starter in, and start and feather. This will be cool. You can see this. A little camera shake. Good. We can kill the jetway now.
These devices must be switched off.
Release parking brakes.
Oh, the jetway killed itself. Cool.
During the entire flight. We wish you a pleasant stay on board.
Oui, à trafic 4 on commence à pushback et démarrage le moteur.
Sounds like the other guy pushing back now.
Montreal traffic, Canada number 86, taxiing runway 24 left. Yeah, Alpha Mike, Alpha cross to 8, hold in charge 4 left.
Montreal traffic, Encore 3539.
Release parking brakes.
Pushback can start.
To fasten the seatbelt, fit the two ends together. Tighten it by pulling the loose end. To unfasten the seatbelt.
Alright, let's go.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Oh yeah, he is pushing at the same time. That Air Canada pushed back and started really friggin' quick too. He must have started up then pushed back. Okay, good. Left engine start. Start and feather. Got a co-pilot puppy Phoebe on my lap right now to make the... Well, actually, no, it won't make the taxi interesting because with this airplane you use the yoke for steering. There's this other guy who pushed back right into the... Good. On else. Alright, it's all good. I meant to turn that on. Whoopsie. Warm up. Be on. Turn that on after the airplane's fired up.
Voilà, trafic 410, 10-3, rouillage pour la piste, take-off pour la piste 2-4 gauche.
Oh, this guy's gonna hate me. I haven't even fired my engines on yet. Whoops.
Set parking brakes.
Alright, let's get out of here, Let's fire these guys on. It's a little bit early, that's okay. On and on. He might just go around me, that's fine.
Unlocking gear.
Jacking the gear off.
Montreal traffic, Air Canada 986, line up and take up to 4
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass has been removed.
Let's get these guys on.
Trafic de Montréal, Air Canada 986, en sa ligne, on décolle plus 2, 4 gauche, Montréal 1 départ.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Good. Good. Those are happy. And off. Norm. Good to go. Montreal traffic, Encore 3539, we taxiing to runway 24 left via Alpha Mike, number 2 behind the can jet. Alright, let's go. WestJet tail. Better or not good enough? No, we're gonna jump off my desk. Okay, cool. Montreal traffic, Encore 3539, landing up 24 left and waiting.
Cabin crew, cease for departure, please.
WestJet 736 is backing up. Okay. You gotta get down or you gotta lay down. Thank you. Well, I know. How dare I? Okay. What's wrong with my display here? Why are we... There we go. Okay. Brakes. Takeoff tests. Can you let me take off, sir? Thank you. All right. Let's go. Montreal traffic, Encore 3539, takeoff 24 left. I don't know why Chase Plane does that, but okay. Like tilts your head. 80 knots, 100 knots. V1, V2, rotate. Positive rates. Gear up. And away we go. Wow, that's really sticky tonight. Well, daytime, yes. Okay. Drops back. And let's go. Direct to 5. Enter. And yaw damper. No. Autopilot. And nav. And L cell. There we go. Nice little right turn. Kind of the same thing that we did. And away we go. And Montreal traffic, Encore 3539, vacated 24, left, direct, Kelsa. And we're out here. That is that. So, yes. Virtual Lufthansa, yes. But in real life, I flew on this Encore flight about a week and a half ago. We're close enough to Boston, apparently, that I'm picking up Boston traffic on the text Unicom. And we're out of here. So, let's kill the taxi light. Close those up. Turn the bleeds on so that people don't Max auto. Looking good. Now the airplane is going to hold that 135. We might have to boost the speed up here. I think I can. So we'll have to manually control it with VS. Let's nose down a bit, pick up a bit of speed. Now the other thing too is that we're not flying coordinated because I didn't set any trim for the rudder. Making things worse is one more. 2 more. Perfect. So maybe we'll put our flaps up too while we're at it. Piloting. Nose up a bit. Speeding up nicely. 2100 on the VS. And yeah, so this wretched snowstorm, wherever that was, I don't know, but that was a very, very annoying night. I was meant to be home at about 7:30 my time, and we didn't end up getting home until midnight. The only good thing about that was that my work was paying for the travel time, so you get paid really nicely, even though you get stuck, and it kind of sucks, but you know it does work out. So 9,000. Double checking all this stuff. It's good. ATC right now. Casca, and then we turn towards Toronto. So I'm assuming all the flights that night went north to try and stay away from the storm and then turn back in. Nice detection through 10, so we'll kill the lights and we will speed the airplane up. Goes down quite a lot. +5. +7. That's Sevo.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your own safety, we instruct you to keep your seatbelt fastened during the entire flight. Please observe that this flight is a non-smoking flight.
Okay. Flight level 240 is going to be our level for this flight. taxi outside really quickly. Stand by ear rape. Nice one. So we'll take this picture as the thumbnail photo, but I'll doctor it a bit, because when this was posted on YouTube, it's gonna say like XXX3539 flight between X to X. See, yeah, I was really tired come this flight too. So one of the cool things that happened at the airport was after being stuck there for many hours, one of my bosses came in, and him and a colleague were waiting to get on their flight, which was delayed as well. But they were flying Air Canada, and they fly back and forth between Toronto and Montreal so much that they actually are in the Air Canada Gold Club or whatever that's called. And so they can go into this awesome lounge that I just didn't even know existed at the Montreal airport. Like, I knew it was there, but I didn't know really what it was. I just figured it was just comfier chairs or something in a quiet area. But when you go up into this lounge, you have a fully stocked bar and beer taps and every type of pop you can possibly imagine. There's a salad bar with pasta and everything, and it was all free. And I was like, okay, cool. So, of course, I was flying WestJet that night, so my boss and the colleague are like, oh, just come with us anyways, we'll just see what they say. So I go up with them, I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna get kicked back down to the regular lounge. And that's not a big deal. And I go up there and they're like, yeah, we found a friend that's traveling, can he come in too, even though he's not flying Air Canada tonight? And they're like, oh, the lounge is really full. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. And then they just pulled me in. I was like, oh, okay. So I got to spend a couple hours up there. I got to take a couple really cool photos of some of the air traffic that was around the airport that night. And probably the coolest thing that I saw that just lit my heart rate up was that night I saw for the first time in my life, the Airbus A350 Lufthansa land from Munich, go up to the gate, and when we were in the long line of people waiting to depart, that Lufthansa A350 was 2 airplanes ahead of us, so I got to watch them depart from the airplane. It was awesome. So it was all in all, in the end, not bad. I wasn't too happy with WestJet though, just because of the way they canceled a lot of flights that night, and it didn't seem necessary. But I don't know, like not knowing kind of what impacted. I guess it was all in the States where all that storm was. So I guess our airplanes were coming up from there or something. So yeah, that was the night that prompted this flight. So I figured I'd make a cool little fly with me video. The IRL flight and then the cool flight. So while we wait, the flight I took going to Montreal prior to this trip left right after there was a big snowstorm in southern Ontario. So I'm going to cut in a video right now. This is one of my favorite videos. It is I can't remember the flight number. It's another WestJet. I think it's 3519. I want to say. But anyways, I'll cut the video in here now where you see my airplane was taxiing out. They hadn't even finished the snow operations at Pearson, so we were dragging the main gear through like literally tire high snow and just blowing through it like it was absolutely nothing. I thought this was really cool. So we'll show that video now. Okay, so while we saw that, the guy on my TCAS back here is that WestJet 736 that took off after me. Now he's on a different route, so he shouldn't be a problem, so we'll be okay. So Tukur Undox 5. Now the problem with doing the flight and trying to trace the real life flight as much as you could is it slows down this thing a lot. We're about to stall. And plus 800. There we go. So the only problem with trying to track the real life flight is, even though I'm using the real life route, at some point I will have to break off because if the weather's different at Pearson, so this flight landed on runway 5 at Pearson that night, so we'll just try and see what is going on at Pearson right now. Is there even any ATC online? No, it doesn't look like it, so that's okay. Stop moving. Aww, Cody. anyways. Well, we needed a little nav map backup anyways, so let's have a look-see at Pearson. So that last waypoint right there is Tuker. After Tuker, I gotta come up with something now. It looks like the weather at Pearson, show information. -2, winds 0, 7, 0, and 12. So, alright, we might be able to do runway 5, so let's set that up. So, show arrival procedures, Undocs, which is funny because Undocs doesn't go to 5, so, oh yeah, it does. Okay, so, start, Undocs 5, ILS 5. Okay, so same thing in the airplane. Flight plan. YYYZ. We do menu, arrive, runway 5, enter. And Undocs 5 is 8, enter. Transition approach would be ILS 5, enter. Flight plan. So after Tuker, we delete the link there. Ragged. There, yeah, it's empty. Vector. Might delete that vector, but we'll see. Cool. And like most flights, every once in a while, we gotta run to the washroom. So I am going to leave you guys really quickly on a dash view, so we'll be right back in a second. Back. Okay, so still climbing like a bag of rocks. WestJet is off to my left now and high, so he's somewhere, yeah, there he is. So he's gonna race me. We're almost at 24, about 1500 to level. Poor little airplane struggling. It's heavy too. This flight was heavy. Every seat sold and lots of luggage, so I've set the airplane the same in the config for tonight, so we're pushing limits. So that's, wow, that's quite a wind too. Only in Canada, we've got this awesome weather. So we'll leave that for now. 1,000 to level. Let's get this guy a little bit straight. This little arrow is hurting my soul. Guy's gonna beat me by a country mile. So if we go like this, I see him, there's us, there's him. We're just about to fly over Ottawa right now, so the Ottawa International Airport will be below us. And you see just the sim now? Alright, good. Good. So Ottawa. One of my best friends in the world lives in Ottawa. So now that airport is going to cross on my left side. It's the Ottawa International Airport, I suspect. It's that airport-shaped piece of land right there. There is 24. Wow, that's 24. We didn't reset the altimeters. Bad. 1013. Should have to climb a little bit more. LNAV ELT. Wind just slowing us right down. That Boeing has a ground speed of 349. I'm grounding at 247. He'll get there, have his engines off, and be disconnected from VATSIM by the time I show up. Nowhere traffic. About 20 miles away from Montreal is at Jazz Air E709 from CYQB. Which one is that? Quebec Lasange International. Oh, okay, so Quebec City. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so we're up to level. Let's go props 850. It's always the scariest part in this because if you go an inch too far, it'll put you back in the start and feather. This is starting to bother me, so thank you. Now let's figure out. We got to be down to now Delary. So Dupa, you know what, I'm gonna go direct from Litro to Dupa, so we're actually gonna delete him. Okay, we're gonna delete him. We're gonna delete him. Yes. Now, if that has Dupa at 3000, we can go VNAV to 11. Top of descent in 38 minutes. There we go. That's how we do that. Crossfill the flight plan. So he's aware of what's going on. And slow the props down, slow the speed down just a bit. Just because we're about to overspeed. We do not want to overspeed the airplane. We are slowly picking up a bit of a ground speed now. At Toronto right now, there is 3 Air Canadas, 2 Air Canadas and a Delta. Slow and steady. So, let's see, we're at Tukur now, so I'll tab this thing really quick. Tukur and then the Undox 5. So Tukur is about here. Then you come straight in and then go north to the airport, turn around and do a nice little fly in. Now if we play this, we're going we'd be about here. Then it goes straight for the airport. think that's static, probably just a static shot from that night of weather, but yeah. Now, we took off from Montreal, we took off from gate 15, when we land at Montreal, or Toronto, I'm going to find gate Alpha 1 Bravo. I hate these gates because they're literally at the far end of the Terminal 3, and you got to walk like a country mile to get to them. And when it's winter time, you have big clunky boots on, heavy coat, and your backpack, and you walk, you know, like country mile through the airport. By the time you get to the airplane, you absolutely reek because you're just like sweating like crazy, which is just gross. My flights that I'm doing the week of December 3rd, so I fly out on Tuesday, December 3rd again, but this time I'm doing Air Canada, and I get to fly out on an Airbus A320, so that's going to be really cool from Terminal 1, which shouldn't be that far of a walk from the security checkpoint. And then when I come back, Johnny's going to eat his heart out, or has eaten his heart out, Airbus A333. So that's going to be really neat to take an Air Canada Airbus from Montreal to Toronto. Looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty spiffy. Now, let's go back to map for a second. This WestJet is kicking my ass. 5. There's us. There's him. He's going. Now he is doing Ragged 5. So he's probably going to go south of the airport and then turn in on 6 left or 6 right, I suspect. Me, I'm just petering along here, still over top of Ottawa somewhere, just going do-do-do-do-do. Alright, so back to the cockpit. But we're going as pretty fast as this little airplane will go. So while we wait, let's go check out this, see what's going on at virtuallh.com. Who's flying right now? Got a new guy named Florian who's been doing an awful lot of flying. He absolutely loves the 738, so he's been flying like absolutely crazy. Johnny right now is on the Hello Sun Express tour. He is doing, I think that's leg 4, if I'm not mistaken. So those two guys are flying. Somebody had a really bad night here. Okay, so you won't see me on the map because I'm not doing a virtual LH flight, so feels bad, man. So Johnny thinks he's gonna get the tour done, but there's still a couple really long legs in there, so let's just check out what tours we've got going on right now. So Hello Sun Express. 1, 2. Oh no, he's further along than 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on like 5. He's got a couple hops in Turkey, but then he's got to make the trip to Munich and back. That's a long set of flights. So super cool there. Airplane speeding up still. We're just gonna pull the throttle back just a hair. Now we turn, now my headwind becomes a bit of a crosswind, so the airplane's going to crab really hard on this leg. It's 130 nautical miles to Ragged. Oh man. Speed. We're grounding 303, 304 now. It looks like we got about a 12 degree crab into the wind right now. now WestJet is offering me a Coca-Cola in a small little glass and a granola bar. The name of the company that makes the granola bar is called Made Good. And it's a nice little chocolate granola bar. My favorite is the meme that you see online where you see people on an airplane in the 50s and they're getting like roast turkey dinner or something like that being served, and like, wow, I can't wait to see what the future holds for air travel. And someone took a picture of like them eating a bag of peanuts with a small Coke next to it. I thought that was really, really funny and totally accurate, of course. So yeah, that's what you get on one of these flights. I think you could get a beer for free. I'm not really sure. I know Porter does that and Air Canada does that, but I never really saw anyone or bothered on WestJet with that. On the 2 times that I've flown home at night with these guys, I was just so tired and so completely destroyed by the time it was all done, which actually I feel really right now, so this ought to be really good landing. But anyways, yeah, that's something fun. So you're just too tired after working for having a beer, and then the fun part is you get back to Toronto and then I still have to drive about an hour and a half home. So that you know, this particular night wasn't so bad because it was midnight, so there really wasn't anybody on the road. The second week when I came back, I was on the 5:15 flight and landed at about 6:30 into Toronto, which was right in the middle of rush hour, so that drive home took a lot longer. "5 minutes till top." Now, really long runway at Pearson, so we'll just do a flat 15 landing. Don't need to do anything kind of massive. Speeds, we're going to approach at 130 and let's go like 120. That'll be good enough. That's good. Oop. Oh, look out here. Not much in terms of landscape. Also, the real life flight did this at night, but I am flying real time right now, so feels bad, man. Okay, so now either WestJet is frozen or I'm catching up, but I think that's about the fairest. 36 nautical mile difference. He should still be actually within view for me to... no. So I just clicked in the simulator to see if he was there, but I can't see him. So if I zoom all the way out on the map, so we're in Ontario now, so because we have been since we've flown over Ottawa. Did that guy disappear off the map? Is that what just happened? Oh, he's gone. Feels bad, man. Well, rip. That sucks. We were having a really fun little race there, and I was winning. Kappa. Okay, well, anyways, we look at the overall flight. So we're just a little over the halfway mark now. We'll start our descent soon and make our turn into Toronto. Zooming in here, you see there's an awful lot of traffic in the area. So we got a Porter from I-80. Really? Huh. So, really? From Texas. That is a long ass time to be sitting in a little friggin' Q400, but okay. Anyways, he's landing on the island airport. We've got this Delta headed to Atlanta, and GVY, what's that? I've never heard of GVY before. Let's look that up, shall we? Huh. No idea what that is. Huh. Well, that guy's made something up. GVY173 Alpha. .87 knots, 315. Just hounding us with winds and slowing us down. That's my record time so far. I've recorded 55 minutes, so this one will have been cut down just a hair. One of the big reasons why I do this every once in a while, like in Air Canada or in this case WestJet, is there's traffic online that you can actually look at and interact with. So I thought that was really cool. On the takeoff, we had the Air Canada who was speaking English and French for his intentions, which I thought was really cool. We had the CanJet guy there that was speaking French, but I knew pretty much what he was saying for the most part. So yeah, that's really neat. You got English old me who can try to speak French, but don't do very well with it. 38 minutes in the air. How are we making out? So, got my power dialed back so that we don't overspeed the airplane. Airplane thinks we should be at 73%, but I'm holding 64 for torque. Props are spinning at 850. Temperature 626, not bad. We got good oil pressure and temperatures. Fuel 10-15 on both sides, so it's what, 20-30? 2,030 pounds of fuel, and the outside temperature roughly around minus 47 degrees Celsius. And that is our we're in the air trying to keep ourselves busy check. Now, let's look up some information at Pearson. So, shift 5 again. Don't forget this. Runway 5 is 11,122. Just barely long enough for the Q400. We've got ILS is 109.70 with a course of 56. So let's set that up now. So 109.70 VOR1. 700, VOR2, 9700. So we'll have that on standby like that, and then the little trick in the Q400, you hold down the format button, then you see your VOR1, which is at 360 degrees. We set the course for 56. Like so. We'll format it again. Come to the other side. Format. 56. Perfect. Puttering along here. 84 nautical miles, top descent, 16 minutes. So one thing I hope everyone had a chance to check out was the Hello Sun Express tour video. If you didn't, I will actually link it in the description below. I put a lot of effort into that one. That one took about 3 days to record. And the cool thing I like about the Xplane and the Zibo, which is of course, like, the Zibo is a free airplane, and I recently did a fly with me video where I flew the new PMDG 737, but where Xplane has a bit of the advantage is I really like its replay system. And that's what really allowed me to get kind of really creative with that video. So every single leg, so it's one video, all the legs. It took about 30 minutes for the actual video itself, but the record time was about 3 days worth of recording because it's a 22-hour tour. But for every leg, I was able to sequence it the same. You've got like a little intro kind of cool thing that happened or something different. Pushback, taxi out, then you see the takeoff, almost in some cases real time, but in others not. And if you watch really carefully the first 4 to 5 legs, I was on the Zibo version 37, which was a first version where they started introducing failures. But 37, the original version, had something go really wrong with its gravity laws, and with that, if you watch on the primary flight display, there's like a little gravity, like G-force indicator on the thing, and every single time I took off, it was like 4 Gs, and you're like, the airplane was just going absolutely crazy, and the wings flutter, and everything was just absolutely mad. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with this thing? I thought like maybe my weather in the sim had screwed up, or like maybe I don't know. Like there was all sorts of things. I was like, shit, this is not good. I then, after leg 4, upgraded to version 5, or not version 5, 37 version like 18 or something, which was the last version before they now made 38. And that one got better, so like things got better, but then automatic failures would start tripping. So like I would do the long haul from like Antalya to Munich, and I'd walk away for like 2-3 minutes, come back, and both engines have failed. It's like, what the hell is going on with this thing? So thankfully it was like a soft failure where like the gens cut out and then came back, so then I was on like emergency power, and then I was able to like recycle them, get everything going again for the flight. But I'm like, this is friggin' stupid. But where I was ultimately going with that is with the Xplane replay system, the cool thing was all the landings. So you got some cool shots during the flight, but then the landings, I was able to do a thing where you would see me take like the video of the sim right now where I actually land, and then I would park at the gate, shut down my flight plan, and then go into replay and then do an outside view. So that way you can see the inside and the outside view as I was landing. And I was like, that's cool. From a creative standpoint, that made life really neat. So that's where, to me, Xplane always had a bit of an advantage over P3D. So in my last Fly With Me video, I flew the new PMDG 737, and my comment on that was, it's sluggish as hell and is killing my frames. Which is true. However, what I didn't realize was that my computer ran updates. And it updated the internal video card that's built into the motherboard, thus re-enabling it. And I didn't know that. And apparently what that does when it's enabled, and in P3D, even though you tell it to use your, you know, I'm using a GTX 1050 Ti, I was like, use that. It still used the onboard video card for doing rendering, so that actually slowed everything down. I didn't even realize that it kicked in. So I'm gonna fly it again. I will probably do another Fly With Me video on it, and we'll see if there's any improvement. But yeah, that was an unfortunate circumstance for that video. So, all that talking wasted all of 2 minutes, so we're still kind of fluttering along here. So just look at my map. So the GVY guy landed, and Air Canada is taking off. So Air Canada 335 is going from YYZ to YUL, so he's doing the opposite flight to us. CRJ9, nice. I wonder if he's flying the new Aerosoft CRJ remake. Porter landed, and then there's just little me just kind of coming along here. So if we look at the map really quickly, we are coming close to a town in Ontario called Peterborough. So we're over cottage country right now. During the summer, I usually do a cottage trip up here. Where is it? Very, really, Muskoka. Deerhurst. Yeah, so somewhere in this general area I usually go up to during the summer for a weekend or two with my best friends and all of our wivesies and significant others and everything. We all go up there and have a really good time. Lovely cottage up there. And it's one of those cool cottages because you absolutely have to have your boater's license for it, because you pull up to what's called a landing where you park your car and they just have boat docks, and then we get onto a boat and you gotta be on a boat for 20 minutes just to get to the cottage. You can't access it by car. So it's remote. It's very remote. So we've still got 8 minutes, 6 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna do another quick runaway for something, and then I'll be right back just in time for top of the set. When you have dogs, you need to check on the dogs. Like I said, it was too quiet. All of them are asleep in the bedroom. 5 minutes till top of descent. So let's brief the arrival, shall we? So we're gonna come down from flight level 240 to 3000 will be our final altitude. We'll return in for the ILS. We're headed north of the airport, and then we're going to spin around, making a left-hand turn for the localizer, runway 5. Runway 5 is set up, ILS 109.78 left and right with a course of 58058, which has already been set. Just double check that. 056 rather. So that's cool. Landing flap 15, and we are going to do a props max landing. That's about that. So we'll start a slow descent soon, and then as we're descending, we'll slowly turn on the passenger signs and make sure that everybody there is good. So now about 10 o'clock at night. Cody's super tired on the airplane. He just wants to go the fuck home. Okay, let's have a look again. I'll lock the screen yet again with a little map. So the situation right now is this Air Canada has taken off, and he is probably inbound for one of these local BORs here and then heading out. There is no one on the ground at the minute. We are going to land here, runway 5. We'll just roll down the runway, probably exit by here, cross 15 left, and then the parking is somewhere in here. Yeah. So we'll just do B13, I guess. Yeah, okay, cool. And good. So that means there's not a lot of air traffic we have to be situationally aware of, because other than this one guy, we're the only other guy within miles. But I will keep my eye on this chart and make sure that nobody pops up on the ground on me. So shift 3, so that way you can see just the sim again. It's good. Our VNAV profile is now showing up. 2 minutes till top of descent, so I can wind the altitude down to 3. We will do VNAV LTCL, so that when this guy starts coming down, the airplane will automatically top of descent for me. And we got to watch our speed because we're really close to the red tape, but we'll be okay. If not, the thing will just wail at me like you wouldn't believe. One minute. Top of descent over Lariat. This is what we're turning towards now. Lariat's in 8 nautical miles. Thump, 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 thump. Lots of wind on the front of the airplane still. It's interesting to me how at higher altitudes the wind is predominantly coming from the west, headed southward. But at the lower level, when we get down there, the wind is actually the opposite direction, just enough for me to land on runway 5. Vertical alert again. Alright, now I'm going to wait for you to actually descend before I pull my speed back. And VNAV path, and down we go. What airport is that right in front of my nose? That's going to be Buttonville, so we're over the city of Toronto. Pearson should be up here, somewhere in this patch up here, so like I said, we're coming right at her, going around, turn around, and coming in. And while we're at it, So we've cleared ourselves below 18,000, which is the what do you call it? It's the thingamabob, where the thingamabob changes for the thingamabob. Thingamabob I'm thinking of is transition level, transition alt. So at Pearson right now, 3018 is that, so it's about 1023. .1022 actually. Barrow set. 1022, passing through 27640. Perfect. Now the airplane's got to catch up a little bit on the VNAV profile. Airport is in sight. So coming north of her, and this is the runway we're landing on right here. We're parking at the passenger terminal, which is here. Over on the island airport, which is there, there's a gentleman, a porter. There he is there. Rogers Center, Skydome. Snowy over here, but over here, a little less snow. It is typically the way. When you have lakes near you, the weather is just completely unpredictable. It's 401, which is a really major highway. Queen Elizabeth Way. Hamilton's out over here. I'm way the hell over here. Still keep my eye on nav map to make sure nobody is spawning in at Toronto, trying to do like a quick start and fly out of 5, although I doubt it, but so Porter is going from City Center back to IAD. I cannot. Oh, that's Washington Dulles. Never mind. I'm thinking KIAH. Fuck, what a moron. Yeah, but still, that's still a long time to be in an airplane. Like a little dash. Alright. Be okay. Coordination's off. Better. Flying over North Toronto now. That's the Brampton Airport right there. Brampton, a lot of people do a lot of flight training out of that airport. It has a really huge flight school. Turning onto the downwind leg. Now really this airport is in the city of Mississauga for the most part. It's all Mississauga right there. We fly out to about Oakville, Ontario, turn around and then come back. Now we're about to go through 10, so let's drop the speed below 250. Now wait for the airport plane to complete its turn at Littrow, and then I will fire on the localizer on the display. I should be able to. Yeah. There we go. It's 250 now. We'll just keep our slow down to 240. Put a little bit of sauce back on here. Don't fall out of the air. My last video in the Q400, I showed a colleague at work who's semi-interested in aviation. He laughed his ass off because it's, if you remember, I stalled on a final, and I don't know how the hell I got that landing back, but we did. So ice at the minute is not a problem. Let's get approach and landing lights on. Ooh. Little leg spike there. Here's the airport there. Fleet number 445 is Golf Whiskey Echo Juliet. Oh, someone has spawned in at Toronto. Air Canada 335 is another CRJ 900 headed to Montreal. You can tell that the Toronto-Montreal route here in Canada is really popular. A very quick hour-long flight. So we will make announcements of intention, although knowing him, he'll probably... Ooh. Hello, crosswind. He'll probably take off runway 6 left, so should be no problem. Okay, this side I'm going to turn to localizer 2. So now we're making our turn. And let's take flaps 5. Speed on. That's why we dropped speeds, because we started to ascend. We're high on the VNAV profile. Very manual, these birds. You gotta be very on top of everything, or else it gets on top of you. Okay. Now, how are we doing here?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just started our approach. We would kindly ask you to fasten your seatbelts again and turn off all your electronic equipment.
Spinning around, spinning around. Dropping like a stone. airport should be out here somewhere. Right there, reloading again. And let's go.
Cabin crew, please take seats.
Gear down. And approach. Vertical alert. Hopefully we intercept the glide. Flaps. 10. And let's get these guys on. And 15. Bleeds can come off now. Perfect, and we are inbound. Pearson traffic, Encore 3539 is on the localizer runway 5. All right.
2500.
2500 call out. Set our view up so that you guys can see mostly what I can see. And maybe zoom out a hair. Cool. Now do we got everything? So we got gear down, we've got flaps 15, PTU and standby pumps are on, lights, and we are set to go. I just need to be able to see enough of my try and hold 170. I think there's like a car crash or something over there. Cocaine factory. Okay.
$1,000.
1,000 call out. Dual flight director. Nice little lineup. Let's take her now. Crosswind from left to right. Correcting. Low on the PAPI, but good on the glide.
Plus 100.
Whoa.
Minimums.
Continue.
Minimums. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh crap. Oh, that was really long down the runway. And ear rape. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toronto. We went way further down the runway than I wanted, but that's okay. Let's get steering back on here. We'll vacate
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our
onto
final
Bravo.
destination. Please remain seated with the seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has reached its parking position and the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Please continue to observe the non-smoking sign. On behalf of our airline, we would like to say goodbye to you now. It was a pleasure having you as our guests, and we look forward to welcoming you on one of our aircrafts again. Thank you and good luck.
Okay, right turn onto Bravo. Toronto Pearson traffic. Encore 3539 has vacated runway 5 onto Bravo, taxiing to the gate. And there we go. How about that? Perfect. Not the best landing, but a landing nonetheless. Gust lock up.